Hi and welcome everyone to the Hobo Prepper. I am your host, Friar Tuck. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the importance of understanding contracting and understanding the legal system during SHTF. Okay, and that's what the title of this video is going to be. And I want to talk a little bit of a couple of examples that I can give you that will help you understand the importance of why you should educate yourself on basic English common law and tort law, which is contract law. And I'll put a couple of books down in the description if you are into self-educating and learning yourself. But in case you're not, I do offer this as a service. This is something that I can do for you. I will charge you for it. I'm not a lawyer, nor am I operating as a lawyer. I'm operating under what's called the law of agency. And if you want to know more about the law of agency, I will definitely discuss it in future videos. But right now, what we're going to talk about is the importance of why you need to understand law and how to navigate yourself through it, whether you're dealing with foreclosures, an economic collapse, a government collapse, a societal collapse, a regional collapse. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have a business or if you don't have a business, if you have a homestead or don't have a homestead. You don't have to wait until SHTF to use this. I use this in my business when I own my janitorial business. I wrote out all of my own contracts. There are specific ways in which you want to be able to write a contract. But the importance of it is this, and I will give you two separate stories. So the first story is, I had a gentleman come to me. He had a death in the family. Mom passes away. And he comes to me and says, well, my sister, she's kind of mucking everything up. I need your help. Please help me. And so I said, okay, fine, not a problem. He's like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on a lawyer. If I could save some money and spend a couple $100 on you, no problem. So what ended up happening is I wrote the letter to to his sister, and I opened up dialogue and correspondence between the two of them, and they started having civil discourse, and that was really all my objective was. Now I had a list of objectives, and I kind of had to stay with him throughout the process and be there to consult him and to kind of give him my advice on what his next step should be. But I'm not coming at it from a legal standpoint as in I'm giving you legal advice. I'm giving you advice that will help you be in good standing when you take all of your evidence that you need to a lawyer. So just like a lawyer has a legal aid that goes and does all the research for him, if a legal aid would have an agent that goes and does all the footwork for him, if they actually hired out like that, but they don't. Anyways, my second story would be an eviction, and I've had plenty of experience running evictions, and I had a gentleman. He had a tenant, and this tenant was kind of scaring him a little bit. I'm threatened to call the cops. I'm going to call this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And this guy, he's an immigrant, and so he's like, I'm not so sure I want to go down this road. And so he ends up coming to me and coming across to me through a referral, and he says, hey, I've got this issue. Can you help me? I said, yeah, not a problem. I went up there. Lady runs her mouth, does what she's going to do. And I sit back in and I tell him, I take her to court, and the whole story of all the things that she was threatening to do, all it was just to keep him at bay so that she could live there as long as possible rent free. And on the West Coast, this happens a lot. I don't know about the rest of the country, but I know on the West Coast, this happens a lot. And so we get to court. I get her out. She gets the fees. She doesn't want to deal with the sheriff, so she was out in 72 hours. And then Mr. Tom put me in charge of filling that house and making sure that we got a good tenant in there. And he wanted to kind of have me come in and manage his houses for him. Now, under the law of agency, I can do that. I don't need to have a real estate license. What I need to do is have a written agreement with my list of responsibilities. I'm acting on your behalf. In the same way that a real estate agent does, but then they have insurance to back them up if they make a mistake. And if you are going to live in a limited liability society, you're not going to do well when you go to English common law. And I would suggest you maybe look into English common law. I will do a specific video talking about the differences in law, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. What I will tell you is that here's some things that you can do to make sure that you are protecting yourself. When you are writing a contract, and you can write a contract out by hand, you could write a contract on a piece of paper. You don't even need for a contract to be binding. All you need is an agreement between two people, and for one of those people to already begin the actions to fulfill it. So if you say, I'm going to pay you $1 million to consult me, and so I start consulting you, and then you say, oh, no, I don't want it. Well, guess what? I've already gone through, and I've already started fulfilling it. There is evidence of a contract and an agreement because I started to follow through. And so do you have to have something written down? No, but it's easier when you want to remember all the details and, oh, well, I have a problem with this, or, oh, wait, I think we need to clarify this and change this because times are changing and we need to adapt. And so you're going to want to have a governing law. You're going to want to have your terms and conditions. You're going to want to have a way to where you can amend the overall contract so that you don't have any, so that you can keep it fluid. And you need to be able to have reasonable things. And when you write out a contract, you should be thinking, what is something that I think is fair for me to give? What would I expect in return if put yourself in the other person's shoes? So when I go into a contract, and if I say, or if I'm going to go in and I'm going to negotiate with somebody, and I decide I want a bushel of bananas. Well, a bushel of bananas monetarily, let's say, is about $100. Okay, just to give a round number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit there and go, okay, so if I want this guy's bushel, I don't have $100 cash, but I have things that would be as valuable to him, that would equal the $100 in value to him, that $100 in value of food equals to me. And so what you're doing is, and when SHTF happens, you're going to go down into a verbal legal system where everybody is bound by their word. You are bound by verbal agreement through witnesses. And so understanding how to dictate out the terms and conditions, and you need to be able to see this from point A to point B, and as you walk through the process and you see it move along, okay, what problem could I have here, what problem could I have there? As a prepper, you already have the mindset to already be able to see this, so this is something that you really shouldn't worry about too much. But what I will tell you is that as an individual, this will be something that that works for you, and will do you wonders just by taking the opportunity to really think through the whole process, see it from beginning to end, cause and effect, and then as you see things that might arise as you go through each step of that process, from inception to final result. If you see all the different problems, then you can write out something that says, well, if we do end up having this problem, not saying we're going to have this problem, but if we do have this problem, now we're writing it into the contract. Or, hey, if we have problems and we can't resolve it, this is how we resolve it. Like in my janitorial contracts, what I would tell them is, if you tell me that there's an issue, and it's up to me to resolve the issue the first time. And I have at least 90 days to not repeat that same issue over again. So I put this in my contract, is that if there's ever an issue where you feel the need to complain beyond like your reasonable things, like, oh, well, you missed a trash can or something like that, but like, oh, you missed this whole entire section, or oh, you didn't empty this whole office's worth of trash, things like that. If they came to me and said something like that, it's okay, so I have the next 90 days to keep my nose clean on that, because in the contract, I put myself on probation for that. That gives them the warm fuzzies, knowing that they are going to be taken care of, and that if I say I'm going to do something and I do it, then we're great. But if I don't, and I screw up, and we keep missing that office like 2 or 3 times more, well, then now that's repetitive behavior. Now they have the opportunity to break the contract without penalty. See, now I'm already seeing the issues of like, what happens if I screw up? Well, okay, and where would I screw up, and how would I want to get it fixed, and how do I want to write it into the contract that's fair to them and fair to me? It's fair to me that I get a chance to fix it. It's fair to me that I get a chance to fix it a second time. It's not fair to me, and it's not fair to them to give me a third chance and a fourth chance and a fifth chance. You give a couple of chances, and then you have to have the ability to exit. And this is the purpose of being able to write your own personal contract versus going to a lawyer and getting them to write one, which may just like it will put its teeth into you, and then there's no way of getting out. And you want to be able to give people, because people will not want to do a deal with you, because those that are honorable will say, well, I don't mind committing to you for 6 months, but I'm not going to commit to you for a year. And I'm willing to commit this, and this, but I'm not willing to commit all of this. And I'm willing to take less in return, but this is what I'm willing to do. Well, when you have an attorney that is just writing out something that they went and they got a piece of software, they entered in a couple of pieces of information, now they got to go back in there and redo it. Whereas if you're writing out the contract, or you have somebody that's there, like you have an agent there that's asking the questions and going through and seeing all the different problems so that he can address them with you in the beginning when everybody is in good faith before the water gets muddied, so that when the water does get muddied, you have an opportunity to fix it. And you also need to have a duration, a way to be able to cancel the contract, a way to be able to dissolve it. And any contract that which you do, you have to have, it cannot be indefinite. Okay. And so I'm going to leave you with this. I hope that you learned something. I hope you learn the importance of contracting. And hey, if you need somebody to either write out a contract for you because you have an agreement, or if you're getting ready to have a meeting of the minds and you would like to have a negotiator, or if you're having a dispute, whether it be with the workplace or with a family member over certain things, and you need some help, I would be more than happy to offer my services at a nominal fee if you want to reach out to me. But the way that you do that is down in the Discord section. That is how you get in contact with me. So if you look down in the description, you will see my Discord server. If you want to get a hold of me, that's how you get a hold of me. If you have any other questions, or you think that I need to cover some more, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching.